Oh, it's not lit. But I still get smoke. Why? That's the second time it happened. That freaks me out. I don't get it. Cigarette's not lit. This other one's been out a while. I don't get it. Okay. In this video, and I am so far not finished. I didn't even get into half what I started today. Because everything you start expands, just like the mind. When a name is chosen of any sort from any human being, there's a relationship deeper into his thoughts. And like when URANTIA was chosen, okay, whoever chose that, it doesn't matter where it comes from, somebody saw it and picked it off. They were able to undetail the details, like I'm doing. Like these people who read sandstones and stuff, well, they're doing what I'm doing, but I'm just doing it to the language, the English language. Okay, if I had, like I said before in the tape before, if I had every group that spoke the English language, I can probably put together a great big turkey. Now apparently, okay, this is like, I don't read very much, I don't have very much time, or I don't make the time to read, sorry about that. So I go through bits and pieces, man's red and blue blood versus the animal's blood, the flies, one of the reasons for the flies, Lord of the Flies, because you swat them, they die and they come back again. That's why they're just a piece of oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. So my cats take a nap, and when they know they're with somebody that's really going to take care of them, that loves them, you know, I mean, they crawl all over me. He doesn't say a word, he doesn't meow, he crawls up my leg, he goes to sleep, because the cats are so busy with the communication transmission, the AT field, that all these scientists are looking from, and they can't understand what it is. It comes out for our animals, it comes out from anything God created. You see, God doesn't own the universe. The universe is the one soul. So God knew by making 1 and 1 is 2, he can have a creation. So he built a dome, and he created this world that we're in right now. And in this world of God, okay, we get to do anything we want when you have money. But as an animal, you can do anything you want anyways. But what was once the big city and a jungle in Montreal, New York, Chicago, no more. So the animals have to retreat back to the mountains. Now there's not too many mountains left, and now apparently in Colorado they're digging inside one of the mountains down to where the rats live. And you can't go down there, it's not your place to live, it's the king of the rat. That's why in French, okay, rat is said roi, which means king. But they don't say it the same way as me, because I'm not like everybody else. I don't want to say it your way, because your way only tells me your message. But the message inside the word, the truth of the creation of the word, tells me a lot more of a message and the reason for the usage of this word. So anyways, I graduated from that. This cat is all laid out on me. What I did now is I was very interested for the last year. I've been looking over a lot of maps, and if I look at the United States, I can tell you different things about the outline of all the 50 states, and I can give you a story about every state. And I don't have to know too much about the state. Just give me the flag and the highways, and well, the rest is, you know. And I make it up as I go, and it's not all truth. It's only what my mind knows. So what do I know without my mind? I'd be a mindless person. So what I did next, okay, is that this place we're in is a game of yo and exo. But one of the reasons we call it yo and not exo, okay, is because when God took one of his ribs, God is an X. He puts one this way, and he puts one this way, and they lean on each other just like a teepee, and he makes creation. He had the one God, but the 3 creation is 3 sticks. That's what I have to mark down. God's creation, he is the one God Spirit, one God Spirit. I never thought of this before. See, you learn right away, eh? And you're with me, because this is live, man. One God Spirit, 3 creation. So that means 1 stick and 3 sticks. So now he had to put these sticks in a certain way, right? And he put them in a certain way, and it describes the American Indian right here. The one spirit going down, and you can see the 2 arms of man. This is the teepee, and that's the creation of man. Okay, God's 3 sticks with his 1 stick. 1 stick is this way, and it creates the letter N. You go 1 like this, 1 like this, 1 like this, it's N, 1 like this, 1 like this, 1 like this, it's Z. 3 sticks. Then what he did to it, I'm going to design this on paper, what he did with the 3 sticks. I'm going to have to write it out here. He had the 3 sticks like this. Here's the 3 sticks. 1 east-west, 2 east-west, 1 diagonal. So he takes it and he joins. And he says, that's good. That's the starting the time. You have now have 2 triangles on top of each other. The beginning of Trinity. And what's fun about Trinity is you close off 1 more area, right? And in Trinity, we always leave 1 open door in Trinity. Okay, if you notice it's a V in here, a V here, a V here, a V here. These are all closed V's, okay? Each V is 5,000. This is 15,000, okay? 15,005. Why is it 15,005? First of all, the 51, okay, everybody knows is area 51. And the passage is, well, if you don't insert an element to feed, okay, if you don't put an element to feed this machine, she ain't going to run. She needs a hole to shove her garbage out, okay? So this machine, what happens now is we go, okay, with Christ. So we go with Christ, and this is what happens to the machine. The machine is now like this. And it's like this, and this will be found on the telephone, and this is an upside down V. This is where God rests. It's a roost, okay? This is the exit point 8, and below the 8 is the 0, which is back home, okay? This is the roost. If you look at street, this is the toes of a chicken. Because the yellow of the universe, for me, what it means to me, because I don't know what it is yet, but I think it's a mix of our sandpaper sand with some salts and some oil, and it ignites and it fires, and the spirit are the shreddings of the trees. You ever take apart a tree, and sometimes it's, oh, look at all the material on it, it's just piecing apart, and it's the worst tree. And I worked with trees, and they call that tree, is it Delarm? Delarm? Ormstown. So now I have to learn about Ormstown. What is it about Ormstown? The tree is Delarm, which can say Lauren, okay, and Lauren will have a value in its name of the name. So I have to play around with the name until it falls in, or do a letter watch, which is, if you, let's say you want to do tall. So the letter watch of tall is T, individualize the A, okay? It's a small a, but it's individualized. You can't do that. So the T, okay, let's say T, what did I say? I got to explain this exactly right. You see, when it's not a capital, it can't stand on its own. So when the T is in there, the E inside the T is standing with the help of the letter T, because it says T-E. Then when the A comes, okay, you say T, and it sounds the same thing, because it's the E world, and the A is the boss, okay? The A doesn't need any sound. The minute you hear a sound from the E, it's A automatically. It's the E world, okay? It's the electronic world of the android. E and A world. The android is man. Now, I did a whole series on what an android is, but in the middle of the word, okay, it says Andrew, and that's Prince Andrew, okay, and then it's Roy, which means actually God, and then D, which means angel, android. And that, my friend, believe it or not, and I never wanted to say this, that, my friends, is the Queen of England. Okay? Now, they started the First War. Was it their fault? London bridges falling down? Does that have anything to do with the stock markets? What's going on? There's a whole game going on here. But first, what I really came to do in this video is this. Do you see that dog? Okay? Where that star is Saudi Arabia. Okay? Syria, okay, is right down over here. Okay? Where the food passes in a dog. This over here, okay, is a cat. It's a graduate's cat, this cat, because the Middle East has been in it since the beginning, and a lot of them have graduated, and they're actually not doing the same as us. But let me check that other part. Oh, I can't go back to it and tell you exactly where it is. So on this, the graduate hat is Armenia. A for angel, R for resident angel, M for man, E for the electronic world, and the neutralization of the I birth of the small angel B, because the small a is on the B. And the small a, it's in the second level. Level A and B. Big B and small b. We did the alphabet, but now it comes. Anyways, what we're going to get now, okay, is Iraq is a pain in the neck. And that's exactly where they're located on this dog. This is the shape of the Middle East, okay? It creates this dog image. And where is Jordan and Israel? Well, Jordan and Israel, like I showed you the star, because it's on the collarbone where everything starts, because it's the two ribs of Adam and Eve that came together to create that. So the Jordan and Israel are right there on the collarbone, and that's why I put the Magen David. Saudi Arabia owns all this sand over here. All the sand. They own all the sand. But isn't everything in Dubai? Or it's not to buy. What's to buy? There's nothing to buy. It's only sand. But we go there anyways because we can spend our money and no one else can go. And now we are eyes of individuals. We are now individual eyes. So I got two eyes, but I made my eye individual. So I only see what I want. So I close one eye on the horse, and I close the other eye on the horse, and I close the other eye on the horse. And man has gotten so rich, his money became his second eye, and now his money can see everything as well as he can. And that's why the jack only has one eye, okay? And the king only has one eye on the cards, because they need help. We all need help. You can't ask a question to nobody, and when you're odd and you need something, if you don't have a pen, you know, and you have no ink to write, black, gold, the ink of writing the Bible, the black gold in this pen is the ink. Where does this ink come from? What is this ink all about that I can write? This is my black gold, because this is what takes everything out of me. This and YouTube and Facebook and everything else out there. Thank you, Steve Jobs and Microsoft. But what happened? IBM is being bought out by a certain percent. IBM, which is buying another I, which is God, another B, which is the beta God, and the M is man. They're being bought out. The Titanic, oh, I got tons of stories, my friends. Oh, my God. It's crazy. So now what you see, what's really funny, is there's a tail over here. You see this tail sticking out? Well, that tail happens to be the tail of the omen. The omen is at the end of the tail because it's where all the crap comes out. And that's man's omen, because it's the spirit of what he does inside his head comes in and goes out his ass. That's the omen, and that's where they placed it. Now, the one great thing I like, okay, is Turkey is the whole head of the dog. The eye, the ears, and the nose. 3 strikes, because there's 2 of them. There's a pair, and a pair, and a pair. 3 strikes. You only got 1 of this. It's only worth a half. You got a spare. Okay? That's what God's X is, strikes and spares. So now you know a strike is 10 plus the next 2 frames, and a spare is just the next shot at the ball. So that's how I know how to calculate through all the games we play. So anyways, what I like about the tail, because the omen is not there alone on the tail, the United Emirates are there. The United Emirates. The ones who came together that merit, okay, to be near the tail end. Okay, why? Because they are on the tail end of the tail, and a tail of communication, because all communications pass through a tail. It's raining, cats and dogs, and it's rain. Liquid is a communication factor in everything. Add a little salt. So you will have the cat, which equals 24, and dog, which equals 26, and the total is 50 for the passage of the $50 bill here in Canada. But in America, it's all green, so it's all the same thing to them. Green life, green money. What's the difference, eh? I got it anyways. But it's not, and everybody said, how many people are actually like this that I'm sure of? I'm 100% sure of 3 people, okay? 100%, and only because of the iceberg, okay? But the main 3 people are involved, are all involved with something to do, okay, with taking advantage of anything. In this world, when you take advantage of something, you take the advantage away from somebody else. You trip the man, you go into the penalty box. In baseball, they throw you out. You're out of the game. And baseball is the game of life, because it's the diamonds that put us together. and it's the diamonds of God. And I just drew a little picture before. I didn't finish it yet. Can you see that? That is the beast of URANTIA. He holds the 4 diamonds on the left and the 4 diamonds on the right. He is the mouth of the one tiger. He's got the crown upside down on his head. The reason this one is free and this one is free is they're rocket jets. We're parked here in the middle of space for a period in time, and man 6, one here and one here, are gone. When we take off, we got the 3 original islands on both sides. If you fold this picture backwards, all you're going to end up with is the one rib of Adam, although I drew a face on it. Another thing with AC/DC, one of the reasons is when God created, okay, he had 1, he had 3. When God created, it was 1. He used the 3 sticks. He ended up with 4. B was jumped over. They jumped right over the bee, and thank God they jumped over because she has a stinger on both ends. So the cow jumped over the moon, right? Except this time it wasn't the moon. Did you see the picture? Did you like it? So what I wanted to get to next, so I did the whole map of the Middle East, and it's perfect. It says it's the end of time, Jordan and Israel, I and J. I is a J. We're all Jacks in this world. Jack is 10, but we're divided by 2. It makes us a 5. 5 is in the middle of the 10-digit numbers, starting at 0 and finishing at 9. We should be at 4.5, and that's why they don't mark 4.5 in tennis, because when we get out of this world, we lose that 0.5 average, and we end up 4.5. If you add up the cards in the deck of cards from 1 to 9, it adds up to 45. Okay? The average of 45 is 9 spaces of 5. 45. Okay? 45, and the one spirit of heaven is 18, makes 63, and 63 moons on Jupiter. Now what I'm going to show you is that everything seems to turn into the fox. Everything has to do with the fox. Volkswagen. VW are God's X. If you continue all these X's, all you get are 2 things. You get a VW, okay, and you get the Israeli flag. So VW stands for Life Creation of Beta, and the Israeli flag has the 6 points or the 6 islands. But only, okay, if you look at it, you can only sit on these 2 over here. These 4 are enclosed. This one is closed. This one is at the bottom, the 1 spirit. This one is at the top, the 6 spirit. Everything goes on the middle here. They call that home 7. It's a honeybee hive. NGC 7286, the home of the last of Aquarius, the time of Aquarius, the closing ceremonies of Aquarius before we set forth into the next dimension. Don't ask me. Look online at all these things. We're setting foot into the next dimension, which is perfect because it's the backdoor entrance back to where we started from. Aquarius, it's more than you think. The Jesus fish, one of the reasons for the Jesus fish, okay, is once you create all these triangles and stuff, okay, once you create all these triangles, I'll just try to show you. They all become fish together. Except all these fish, all their tails are all tied into each other. Because man's tails are all tied in. He only has 2 loose ends, man. And he has to make it up between here and here. But in between, it's the passage of 5. And the passage of 5 means money for everybody. But man's blocked out in this world. Anyways, I'm drawing a mask for what is it? Who's the goaltender for Montreal? Anyways, doesn't matter. There's a contest, and I came up with the most fantastic max that explains history of the NHL. I'm going to show you part of it at a distance. I don't want anybody to steal my idea. You may all laugh, but if you really understand, monkey see, monkey do, then check this monkey, what he tried to see and what happened to him when he did. That is the mask for the Canadiens goaltender. That antenna at the top transmits energy back from the coach and back to him. I'm going to put a little piece on top of it with a plastic so nobody can see it. That way he can communicate with his coach without even knowing, and all his players on the ice. You see, they put a hat over their head with air holes, and that's about it. They have no little bump. Every time there's a little bump, it means something's there. Oh, I have a bump. Do I have cancer? Oh, I have a bump. Oh, I have a bump on my... Every time there's a bump, there's something creating. The pitcher's on the mound. He's got a ball. He's got a bump in his hand. In football, you got to kick the ball. You got to kick the ball. You make a bump in the ball, but the bump goes on the inside. And it doesn't come out again. It just goes back the way it was. It's a bump on the inside that never came out. But with a female, you make a bump on the inside, you better take it out, because that's life. Football's just a game. It's a pigskin. It's 2 dice. Throw them up in the air and let any team of 11-11 win. A coach on each side would make them 12-12. Plus the owner would be 13. If you add in his wife and his 2 kids and everything, we'll end up with 21, because that's what my goal was right here. And our 21 right now is God, the 9 planets, all the moons, the dome that's in us, and the specially blended fruit juice that they get out of the ground. All this was made before man. Man was last. That's why he took over the city, because he had nowhere else to go. He was in a jungle and he didn't know anything about the jungle. So he had to go to the city. So God had to teach him about the jungle. So first man, okay, which was what, Neanderthal man, was in the jungle. It didn't work for him, so God changed something in the mind, and he kept transferring man over to something that works. So he found money makes up for the difference. So he thought it was good, so he says, okay, we'll have one spirit for man to play with, something to chase a tail of a dollar bill that has 4 corners, but it's elongated, it's in one world. The dollar bill has to be square. When you sell a cord of wood, okay, a cord of wood is not 4 by 8, okay? A cord of wood is 4 by 4 by 8. 4 by 4 by 8, is that it? 4 high by 4 wide by 4, 4 by 4. Anyways, when you sell the cord of wood, you sell it at that. So we're always getting gypped 1/2 for the dollar, all the time, but we don't notice it because it's in the system. It's calculated in the system. It's now in our budget. And if it's okay for the budget, it's okay for the mind. So we're a budgie bird now, because we budget. And it's good for the mind, so now the mind's a budgie bird, and that's why they have the budgie bird out there. Everything's a system. Everything's a system. Whatever company you walk into, it's all a system. Well, this is God's company, okay? .com. This is God's company. C-O-M at the end of everything. .com is the ending of everything and the beginning of everything. For everybody out there, I hope I didn't insult anybody. I'm not looking to insult anybody. I'm not mad at anybody. Am I mad at anything? Am I unhappy about something? I certainly am. There's people starving in the world. I'm a very lucky boy. Okay, I'm not starving. And what gets me by is I drink about 50 of them a week. Nah, maybe 25 of them a week. I just drink all these juices. And I watch the colors I eat. And I try to make sure I follow how creation went on and evolved, and whatever I know about the back door is I try not to get in on the back door. I come in the front door, I'm wanted. I come in the back door, they think I'm a crook. You know what happened on Archie Bunker when they came in the back door? I go, Lionel, always coming in the back door. Oh, Lionel. Lionel's an angle. It has 2 L's in it. It's 2 angles of God, and that's what created man. The one angle of his rim, of the other angle of the other rim, because an L is a jack. It's only squared out. Because on digital clocks, you cannot put a jack with a round. So they had to put a jack and make it go back up again just to say it's a jack. They were all lines. That's all it was lines. Lines are kings. That's why lions are kings, because they learn to rule with the lines. When you learn to rule with the lines, you become the king in the forest, and you have nothing to fear, because your family is right behind you, and your family is huge. And the ears of Dumbo, the elephant, the laughing hyena, the thorn, the pricks for the hyenas, because they were in the thorns, so they're the pricks, and they got pricked back. When the monkey, with all those colors on his head, held up that animal, okay, it's because he was the communication. The monkey is a communication, okay? The apes, orangutans, and everything else, yes, yes, yes. But when it came down to the bitter thing, what was gray was in between. And that monkey was gray. He had highlights of white and red, but he was gray, and gray is the most natural color between anything in this entire world, next to yellow. Pretty funny, eh? Because gray is between burning something in the fireplace and the cinders. Okay, it turns to white. For a very brief moment it turns to white, and it falls into the other stuff, and because whatever other elements turn it all gray. It means a mix of black and white. It means they won't break down. The black and the white won't break down. So the question is, you can't get out a pen stain from your clothes? Is there a problem? If we know how to get a pen stain, maybe we can fix the oil problem too. And it's only there it's like a train ride. You know, you go in the train, first they use steam, and they use coal, and you know what, and they kept changing because God was trying to send different messages until all of a sudden man got smart and figured out that the gold and the oil made money, and money is green. So you sell gold, you sell oil, and you get green, and you get greedy. It's nobody's fault. Nobody really understands. Why should I understand more than anybody else? I'm just telling you a story, okay, that I've been working on for quite a while now. And after you repeat and repeat and repeat, things start to fall apart. When you start to pick pieces up and the things fall back down on the ground, you start to see what everything was made like. And I repeat and I repeat. A Peterbilt truck, a peat moss, the mixing of the elements to create something that you can reuse back in the ground, and you didn't go anywhere to get it but from the natural sources of the elements itself. Peat moss. Shavings. The shavings of the tree are the roots of the ground. The trees have the passage to the underworld. If you think this is all a joke, listen, turn on the music, you feel the vibration, you hear the sound, you know what it is, you get into it, you feel it. The universe is a song. It's a verse. Okay? And in this universe, it's a beta universe. And when it comes to the end, you have to stop and rewind. In the other universe, of URANTIA, it's a disk universe. It's a CC disk universe, which means the disk is split in half, and all that's left is the little part on the bottom. Because 2 parts moving, okay, or 3 parts moving, you know the radioactive, it shows 3 parts moving. 3 parts can move now, and you can use all the elements. It's hard to exactly explain. Once you go around the center core, what is that? The center core of a pineapple. Right. Take out the center core of the pineapple, look right through it. Imagine if you shoved a brush in there that cleans dishes or glasses and start turning it, and then you stop and turn it backwards 1 notch. When you turn it backwards 1 notch, those little hairs on the brush will stick right into the pineapple. Communication between the brush and the pineapple. Well, that's basically what's in the disk universe. It's basically set up like that. And can we go and come? Well, we're always monitored based on, I'm not going to use based on what, not what this Earth is all about. We're all monitored. So if we go off course, our life is automatically changed by God to correct ourselves. This machine is an automatic correction. Now they just created one, okay, and it's coming out from IBM or something. It's the exact machine I'm talking about URANTIA. And now that we're matched up with URANTIA in here, but in the back door, that only is one calling, that Aquarius and Pegasus and all the Greek gods will now rise, because it's their stories that will tell the end of this story. Like I said, I hope I didn't harm anybody. I'm here for the fun. This is YouTube, and I put it on Facebook and Reddit and whatever I can do it, wherever I can, because I think my word is trustworthy, that's for sure. Whether I'm right or wrong, it's a different story. I trust me. I trust me. I trust me. I look right at you and I tell you, you want to look back at me right now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And life begins at 11. When the spirit connects. But the minute that life begins at 11, okay, is it 11.1 or is it 1.2? Because 1 and 1 is 2. And that only means beta got created. So you got to be 12 to create yourself. So women, bar mitzvah, 12 years old. And man, to create, he's got to be 13, 1 and 3 of God. He's got to have 4 sticks. Woman only needs 3 sticks. Right? Sticks 1 in. Well, I'm not going to get to that. I'm sorry. Look in the background. If you look, I'm going to try and get out of the way. I have a cat sleeping on me right now. There's faces in the background. I found this in the garbage. I picked it out of the garbage and hung it up. There's faces in the background. But if you look really close, okay, it's a lot more than faces. There's clubs and hearts and diamonds. There's 2 horses holding up a trophy. while the lion is in the center with a crown on his head, because it is the lion, the one, the man who reads the lines, and between the lines, everything between is what counts, because if nothing's in between, well, what are you doing there, right? You got nothing in between, you ain't creating no babies. The Lion King is the man who creates the line, who connects all the words of God. That man one day will show up wherever, somewhere in this world, probably in Israel, because of that dog, and that dog is a graduate student of God. And like I said before, God says yo in craps, okay, but on the roulette board it says yo all over the place. And the only reason it says yo is because, like I said, they took a rib off of Adam to give to Eve, and that X became a Y. Now he's got an XYZ, and now life begins. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. They call me Raphael, MrTacpans's, 7286. I like to promote, just in case, but I want to promote, okay, Aquarius, constellation NGC 7286 of Pegasus. There is a beehive up there of operations. I have seen the movement. Not many people look for what I look for. I told you, I look for what's not there, and eventually it shows up. It's almost like looking into the sky with a camera and putting different lenses on it. We separate. This whole world is lines. Lines over lines until you see what you see. Are you happy with what you see of yourself? That's what this world is all about. So God had to put the lines to make sure everything was right. And then he gave us a tail so we can communicate back. And that tail's right near our butt end, just like the animals. So all the information that comes in our eyes, ears, and nose, and what we eat goes at all one end. Okay, I'm going to stop it here. There's a lot more. Lots and more, lots more. But I never know what's going to happen, because I do it live. This is all live. I don't pre-plan mostly anything. I have no prepaid plans. I have no plans to pay. I have no plans for anything. You want to give it to me for free? Not interested. I won't even open my door. Okay? I'm not interested. If you want money, go to a shopping center. I'll give you 20 bucks. I'm not interested for someone to come up to my door in my eye house, where my eye holds up the roof. Because if nobody's here, my eye don't pay the rent. And the roof falls down because I'm out. And I'm on the street like an animal. So if you don't respect your own eyes, well, you won't have any eyes to see. Thank you.